here. So up next we've got Shadows of the Empire. So, doing a little button check there. Start a new game. Okay. Let's go. So some people may not be aware, but after the first weekend of May, we hold a Star Wars speedrun marathon called the Kessel Run. And this year for the Kessel Run, we are doing a N64 30th anniversary Star Wars race, where we are running all 4 of these games back to back. And in this process, we have some new runners that are exploring new tech in these games, which is amazing. It's exactly the point. And a lot of these games have some new things to show off that we've been working on. Several of the world records have been broken in the last couple months for all of these games. Okay, didn't need that. Good. Sometimes when they shoot you, you just get knocked off target. We will not be tow cabling them. It is faster to shoot them on easy. Shoot them in the head, have a weakness. And that is the Battle of Hoth. Yeah, this is one of my favorite Star Wars games for sure. Shadows of the Empire is a special thing in Star Wars because it was before the prequels and like in the 90s before there was much Star Wars after the original trilogy. And Lucas did this full media push for Shadows of the Empire like it was a movie, but not a movie at all. So you had a video game, you had comic books, you had a book, this whole series of toys, like specifically Shadows of the Empire. And one of the cool things is like each form of media kind of takes, excuse me, a different approach to the story. Yeah, there was a special soundtrack. There's new songs that were created for this that are like now part of Star Wars canon. Excuse me. Sorry. Anyway, the game focuses on Dash Rendar's situation, and the book more focuses on like Luke and Leia. They're working on, and then the comics focus on Boba Fett, I believe. Later. It was only that easy to take out an ATST. Rebels would have no problem. Our ship back. The Outrider. Variation on Brilliant Freighter. Ship. A few years ago for the Kessel run, we did a run of this, and I was able to get John Knowles, who is and director for the game, and came on and like co-commentated with us and telling us all kinds of things. And this is one of the first. Well, this is the first Star Wars game where you walk in a ship. Physically, from the outside of it, walk into it. The game was also difficult to make because there are so many different gameplay. Like the worst spawn that you can get. Hi. Getting all the good luck today. Chosen not to use it for anyone else. No other runner can have all luck. That level is pretty RNG heavy. Now we're on to the meme of this game, the train. It's always a train. Every Star Wars game. And yes, even Rogue Squadron had the prison train we used ion cannons on. Yeah. This is like the Jungle Cruise for Star Wars. Soon we're gonna reach the ship graveyard. We're now all kinds of classics. Got watchtowers, like on Yavin. Interesting thing about this level is if you played on harder difficulties, the train actually moves faster. The only level in the game where it's actually faster to play it on Jedi difficulty. Over here on our right, we have a ruined AT-AT. I think he was just sleeping. Another one right there. Maybe it looks like a ship. Maybe a tanker ship from X-Wingers. Dash Rendar is the most accurate with a blaster in all of Star Wars universe. You can take out targets well before you can even see them through N64 fog. Gonna watch where his blaster goes. Oops, little explosion over there. We're aiming straight ahead here. Look, he's aiming up. Boom, little explosion. Up there too, little explosion. Yeah, okay. Anything over here, Dash? Level is pretty slow up to this point, but it's always impressive to me like how big this is for like an N64 environment. This is another level though where if anybody were to figure out some sort of RTA viable skip to this level, I'm sure there would be a monetary compensation. This is a 10-minute level. Well, almost 10 and a half. Good time is like 10:20. And in a 46 to 48-minute run, it's it's almost a fifth of the entire run. Just this one level. Swag jump there. Yeah, we are on the train. Up empty. We're like halfway done with the train. Look, we're coming up to our Star Destroyer here. Definitely to scale. But it is cool how they've incorporated stuff. Here's a sand crawler. We're getting there. Last big room. Kind of generator complex. There's some slight speed tech to this. Obviously, the N64 game, the frame rate is trash. And looking in certain places reduces the amount of lag in the game, so you can save maybe a second or two. But then that requires you to be like looking up the whole time or looking down to the sides. Not very interesting. I feel like there's a dozen different movement options where I can save 2 seconds versus looking in the poop brown sky, water for 10 minutes. Alright. Turning off the auto brake. This train has no brakes. Crashing into IG-88s. Living in the junk. So, if you don't know, this game takes place between episode 5 and episode 6. And the bounty hunters are after Han Solo's carbonite. Oh, that was horrible. Come back down here. So, why you want to kill him quick? That was my fault. I was out of position there when we started the fight, and couldn't shoot him when I wanted to. Didn't do enough damage to him. So we've learned that Boba Fett is here on Gaul. We're gonna sneak into the base to find him. Of course, you land on the outskirts. Gotta walk your way there. Also another level that's like very impressive on a scale. It's very huge. Lots of open space. On the PC, you can eliminate the fog so you can see everything. You really get a sense of like how big stuff is. You gotta be careful though. You can. It's very easy to walk off these cliffs. For me. Ash is a bit slidey, so you could fall off this cliff pretty easily. Out too far. God. Shouldn't have done it. I didn't want him to jump so far. Hit it! Oh my god. That's... I have played these games before. What we were trying to do was hit the switch and take the death at the same time. Because then you spawn over here by the doors. You don't have to wait for this loading platform. as this is the day where everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Not gonna work. Alright. Now we got the jetpack. We're gonna get the jetpack up here. You can use the jetpack to do cool things. Like fly out of bounds. Normally they want you to land on each platform, recharge your jetpack. That takes time. But we use the jetpack glitch, do it properly. Okay. Thing. And we made it. That was one instant, the jetpack glitch. The next is you do that climb. If you do it up against a wall, Dash will increase his speed. And his speed versus the low frame rate allows you to clip through certain walls. We're going to use that here to skip a third of the level. Go right to Boba Fett. Right. You're good. We literally skipped like 3 minutes of that level. Almost perfect. Okay. And Slave 1's weak spot is its engines back there, so you just kind of get underneath it. The pulse. Shred itself. Alright, personally, one of my favorite levels. Swoop bikes. Not pod racing. We'll be doing that later. We're going to be utilizing a glitch here. The game method that they want you to do is to take out all of these assassins trying to get Luke, or you get to Luke's or Obi-Wan's hut where Luke is at. But if you kill the first swoop, stay in front of the second, get to a certain point, they all freeze in place, like you just saw. Now you've passed them. Now we're ahead. You don't actually have to kill them. You just have to beat them in the race. And as I'm sure any of you guys have known, playing N64 games, the geometry is a bit rough. Sometimes you get hung up on it. All it is a time loss on easy, but if you play on Jedi difficulty, you actually take damage and you can die. So you gotta be a bit more careful. And we won. I don't know why Luke needs our help. He's a full-fledged Jedi at this point. Just built his green lightsaber. Yep. So this level is one of the levels that has been... I found a new trick. Some speed tech. It requires that flamethrower there. Normally we would have skipped it. Flamethrower isn't useful for anything. A terrible weapon to have. But one thing it does do, create a lot of lag. It's taking all the damage. Okay. Alright, so the new trick is in this room here. If you've played this game or remember cargo hold here. With all these switches and all these boxes. Gotta figure out what door to open. Let's clip. There we go. Look at that. You clip right through the boss. That's probably the first time that's been done in a marathon. Plenty of health to spare. Saves about 30 seconds, that clip, if you can get it first or second try. Honestly, not very difficult at all. Here are the sewers. I feel like a lot of people remember this level and were terrified from this level. Because this level has the Dianagas. They growl for some reason. Come on. There we go, that works. That's a pretty good clip. Don't go that way. Oh, don't hurt me. If we're lucky, we won't see any of them. If we're unlucky, we won't be able to open a switch. What's up, Ant? How's it going? If we're lucky, we won't see any Dianagas this whole time. We'll just hear them. That was kind of actually fast. We're not that quick. You did something right today. Always want that health because there's two guys right up here. They can be awfully mean. The red guards are pretty strong. Alright. This is the boss room. Great. Okay, we got it. Alright. Whew. Almost ruined that. Okay. Skip that boss. No big deal. You hit the end level trigger there, the loading zone. Just end the level. The rumor has it there's some new tech gonna be unveiled for this level. I don't know what it is yet. They're still working on a like a demo video to explain how it works. But we'll have something new for this level come race day. I honestly have no idea what the tech is going to be. We've tried for a long time to break this level. To no luck. Door. Oh. Oh, that's not good. Okay. Light recovery there. Told you, dash is slippery. And full health. Only 2 cool levels. This game has more than 2 cool levels. This game also inspired Rogue Squadron. The Battle of Hoth level was the jumping off point for Rogue Squadron. Where are you gonna be? Saw that coming. Alright, last level here. Being attacked by Star Vipers here, not TIE fighters, not fighting the Empire. Every 15 you kill, you get an extra life. On easy, you can just sit here for 4 minutes. Situation is about 4 minutes. And not do anything. You might get killed once, but that's it. On Jedi difficulty, you'll die every 5 seconds. feel bad for people that like casually want to do this on Jedi difficulty, and then they get to this point and they have like 3 lives, and it is physically impossible to beat this with that few of lives, and they just struggle on it for hours. And there's no amount of skill that would get you through it. And PC is even worse, because this game calculates damage by frame rate, and so higher frame rates means higher damage and faster damage. You need like a minimum of 9 lives to get through this. And that is killing as many people as you can to earn extra lives. So you probably die like a dozen times. I will say that as a kid, this was my favorite level, and not this section, but the next section here when we get to the skyhook station. And just like being able to free fly in space. The Star Destroyer here, flying inside the skyhook station. Was like the closest thing to Return of the Jedi that we had. The run is only valid if you get 64 kills with cutscene. Though this is a terrible run, we are valid. Alright. And the fact that like you get codes later to change your ship to an X-Wing or TIE Fighter. Okay. One more turret. For whatever reason, when you boost, it changes it to flight controls. It's like not easy to just boost. Alright. Terrible run completed. But we get it. We got through. Dash definitely died at the end of this run. Alright, so I'm going to set up for the next one, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes. So hang tight, everyone, and I'll see you then.